Howdy-o, everyone. Velocity here, back in action for more The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. And we're trying to figure out why a board would move. Oh, I assume someone just moved it, honestly. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be that big of a thing, but maybe. I don't know anything about that notice board. Just wipe my hand on it, that's all. Don't look at me, I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business for some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life. It was a reaper, I bet. Got a face screams bored. Oh, I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot. So none of you can elaborate further. Shaken by the crime they witnessed, only the light of a few candles and an old oil lamp by which to see. Can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened. That's right, yeah! You don't pay to expect too much. This man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think. Do you? Really? In any case, as his testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barack von Zeeks. None of these wrangling over the board changes. That's that simple fact. Quite so, quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances? Most certainly, my lord. Very well. Then you may proceed, counsel. Let's go at it again. Okay, doesn't know anything about the notice board. Just wipe my hand, that's fine. Don't look at you. I'm gonna look at you now because you said that. Hold it! When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks? Yeah, what else? That's the Paris school just round the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow the school to kingdom come. So I've been telling all them that the teachers know what they're up to. Oh, you have? Yeah, wouldn't want anyone to get hurt, so that the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, just take all the fireworks off of them. And then, praise the Lord again, the kids all come back to make to buy more. Everyone's happy, you see. What a racket. Of course, and sometimes the teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life, selling explosives. Venus is a beautiful goddess indeed. Well, telling Pawface lies is kind of my thing. I'm never so good at it. Oh, I got it instantly. Let's go. Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich? If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it? No? Did Miss Venus' statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Philosophical thoughts! Deep philosophical thoughts! Let's say there was a great liar, and that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she is not a liar. Oh, it's hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think? I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying. Are you? What are you on about, old man? They're trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that, and I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set them off. That'll give you something to tremble about. You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet, innocent face, young lady. That's why I love her. That's my wife you're talking about. So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich? Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can you elaborate, please, sir? Old blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshots seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. The rotten liar over there. Do you mean to say that you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all? What did I tell you, huh? I said I was gonna tell him barefaced lies, didn't I? Yes, you mentioned it. Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it? Who knew firecrackers pack such a punch? So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief! Well, now you come to mention it, suppose perhaps I do quite remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah. Either you clearly remember it or you don't. Well, I shall consider a fitting punishment for this perjuous act later. For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth. Ah, yes, my lord, of course. If I did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek in the room where it all happened. Hold it! You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Alright, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh, please. As if I would. Couldn't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a guy my age is curious about stuff, you know. Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Yeah, alright, just a bit then. I'd had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give a place a once over, and it was nothing to write home about. Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh, please! As if I would touch anything like that! Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Alright then, I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flipping thing. Sorry, flip the blasted thing. You're telling us that you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? What? You don't prove it? I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Did something that you might have taken, perhaps? To sell? Oh, please. I shouldn't be so lucky. Am I the truth now? I found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. A bit old junk like this can't be worth much yet. Ah! So it was you, was it? You're the one what took it! Gina? Young lady, may I remind you where you are? That watch there! That was a present Inspector Grayson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago! Professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail, and when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. I see. Swatted off him once Blummy was upset, and he gave me a right earful. Say he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polished it and winded it. Meant the world to him. That watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not at all that, though. I took it to Jebbiz that night to ask how much it was worth. The old dealer wouldn't touch it. Didn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it. Ah! I knew I should have lifted it! That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance! I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch the bailiff forthwith. Now, children. Watch your manners. Good Lord! The glass appears to be broken. More than likely. It shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't take any more either. Which is why Jazz Biz, I didn't want it. What a waste, huh? Yes, indeed. Appears to have stopped at the hour of 5. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. It supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Oh? Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved, at least. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. Anything about anything, I'm just an old bystander. You clearly know a lot, my dude. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. That's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high. So did he go to see what had happened? It's not the destination that's important. It's how you get there, isn't it? Did you notice the notice? Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. If I had spotted it, I might have tried to trip it out. out of a sense of rivalry, I admit. Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinus. Does that mean you didn't notice the board? I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign on the crossroads of life. In which case, just who was responsible for moving the notice board? Was the Reaper, I bet. See how this changes everything anyway. Alright. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over. Or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over. Or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way, because the gunshot we all heard. So, your fate's sealed too. My fate? That's right. The defense is fated to lose. The prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story, it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Not much to go on. As you pointed out, Mr. Naruto, there's no question that the notice board was moved. Somebody must have done it. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma is right and it's not relevant to the case? But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I could feel it. So follow your instincts. Alright then. So I think we have to do the last one, because we got it all. And then we'll go to present. We're gonna look at the gun, this specifically. Please let me look. The glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look. What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully. I imagine Mr. Slums could repair it, don't you? Yes, I should think so. He's very adept at things like this. Useful man to have around, in fact. But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruto. Not an odd job man. Okay. What is this? Ah! There's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see? Ah, yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind up the mechanism. Looks a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something before? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size to fit in this hole. It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found. Okay. What about this? There's a tiny little stub sticking out from the small holes here. Look! I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we now know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean there's a small part of the watch still at the scene. Maybe. Okay, so... Shouldn't there have been... I don't think anything there. So what is this? Like a little doll thing. Kind of all it is. The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. Not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun? Ah! What's that? It appears to be some sort of key. It's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door. Not at that size. So what is the floor, I wonder? Oh? Mrs. Sato, you think perhaps this key could be the key for the Inspector Grayson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. I knew it! A perfect fit! And look! Inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it's obviously just not been wound up, that's all. What is it, Mrs. Sato? Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. Oh, let's go! Let's go! We found it! We found it! We found it, everybody!
Objection!
Woohoo! I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh! At the scene, we found this key to be the winder, the inspector's pocket watch. A key? Having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case was been built. What? Order! 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 But Console, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock. Yeah, which is just when we heard the gunshots. It is exactly an hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. That's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection!
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. Boss used to wind it up every evening without fail, when he was waiting for his crowd to come at the pub. Said he had missed a day in the last 10 years, bullshitting and whining in. It meant the world to him, that watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, why? Well, in summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Hold up. Counsel, that is the most extraordinary claim.
Objection!
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, on that subject, there's something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. That's right! Wait a minute, you're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in! What do you mean? Like I said, planted my hand in the dirty, great puddle of blood. Yes, so the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. They catches on fast, doesn't they?
Objection!
And the blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body. Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It's beyond our capabilities. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't Inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. It is, though? Is it, though? What? Given that the time of the death of the victim was already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that when these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? Is what I know what you heard. It was a loud bang that came from that there room. Now you listen to me. Straight to his ears, eyes, livelihood. Don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with...
Take that!
Girl firecrackers. Well, the culprit could have used something like this, for example. Oh, really? A demonstration is ordered, then, I feel. What? Yes, please. Show the court how you could use that to create a noise like a gunshot. We're waiting, counsel. I may have been mistaken. Looks like you've been making a lot of noise yourself, Mr. Naruto. Ah! Oh, this has got a devastating way for words in English, too. I realize it may be difficult to retract what you said and present some different evidence, but perhaps... Yes, I was thinking the same thing myself. It's because I'm convinced that there's some evidence that could produce a similar noise. Explain yourself then, counsel. Was it seriously not that? Was it not this? Did I not hit it correctly? What is my history? What did I present? Present Venus firecracker. So I did! I did present it. What could make a noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with the gunshot? not that. It should be the gunshot. What sort of bang could it make? You have an idea, Miss Nardo. You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks. Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like. Shall we find out? What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang. My ears are still ringing, Mr. Nardo. It sounded almost exactly like... Goes off like a gunshot. I had to get that little part there. That's why I was trying to examine it, because I thought that... Stupid.
Take that!
Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious! The very fireworks that are sold by the witness. Hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little crackers only, my pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact. You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
Even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barack von Zeeks. One whiff of a match and the firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them. I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I have learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Good heavens, a bomb? Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Mr. Nardo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No. Wait, it's what the whenever you like part that's important. A time device? Yes, exactly. A time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to reduce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim have been to be sustained with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that the time device was employed to create the gunshot sound? I assume it's this, but we have to look at it first, because, yeah, honestly. Ah! There's some black marks here, look! Yes, they look some sort of scorched marks. Perhaps the bullet struck the candle here? Do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan. I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Okay. I'm not getting anything else here. Top of one of the candles appears to be blown off. That's the only thing I could think of. Aside from maybe this being the timer. Yeah, that's all I can really think of.
Take that!
As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabra has been blown off. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. Oh, goodness, yes! But it is not the case. And there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound. And that's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Oh! Which means scorching the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot. They're suggesting it came from the fireworks? How could that be, eh? The fact that there's such a visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at the point partway down the candle, after the killer had left the scene. The candle slowly burnt down, along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecracker, generating a loud and that is how these three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot. And this implies the victim could have died earlier, and we've already led to belief, the previous day even. Now, just hold on, you horses! All it was, Lord, he saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair, even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Oh! Honestly, anybody could wear a wig. The person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say? It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Grayson's killer. Ah, very impressive, Renosuke. Naruto. Kazuma? I'm really quite amazed you come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also know the lack of time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Order! 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 Prosecutor, Osagi. What on earth do you mean by that statement? I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly, I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind as, of course, what was Inspector Grayson doing? And where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigation work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even within the yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing. What are you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about the case he might have been investigating. Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can be explained to the court. The case that was being investigated by Inspector Grayson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. Whatever is suggested of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident. The red-headed article? I imagine as much. It's the only thing we have. The other stuff we are doing.
Take that!
I believe this red hair piece points to the answer. You might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. Would definitely have made him stand out in the crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, you've already worked it out. What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception. A deception of what nature, Consul? They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for a misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord! The defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. The 2 redheads! Inspector Grayson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely he had a direct connection with these criminals. It's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur. We cannot in good conscience leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruto. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 red-headed, conspirators before me, Prosecutor Osagi. At once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. To be continued. Ooh, this case is all spicy. Oh, I love it so much. With that being said, y'all, that'll be the end for today. Till next time, like, comment, subscribe, V10. Sayonara. Bye-bye.